So after I did my review video of my favorite one-wheel accessory, the Ranger mod, earlier this year, Matt Hoover at Landsurf reached out to me and let me know there was a new version of this thing. And so he offered to send it to me along with his new version of the Fangs, Mini V2.0. So these little guys here. So I am super excited to test this out. He also told me that he's got a new accessory coming for the Pint that I will reveal at the end of this video, so stick around for that. So today I'm going to test out the range and durability of this new Ranger mod and see if these Fangs can save me from the always surprising nosedive. I live on a steep hill and I find that on the end of a ride when my battery is low, as I'm going up that hill, it's really easy to overload the board and nosedive. So we're gonna see if these things will save me. Before I get started though, let me show you what the update to this new Ranger looks like and show you how these Fangs work. If you're not familiar with the Ranger at all, what it is it's a little adapter that bolts to the fender here that allows you to splice in an Ego battery and attach it to your one wheel itself to increase the range of your board, which to me is an amazing mod. And then why I always said it was one of the best accessories you could get for the one wheel, because for me, range is more important than anything. If I can't make it to where I want to go without stopping and finding a charger, that can be really inconvenient. And this mod allows you to add that range to a V1 or a One Wheel Plus. So if you've got one of those boards, it's awesome. So if you come right in here, so you see they got this little tab here. Boop, boop, boop. So that guy, when you pull the board back, snap it in, that tab locks in place, holds the battery, and it keeps the battery from falling off. So that is a great redesign. The previous version was just held on by friction. That's a really good addition to this thing. So that really helps to lock this battery in place and keep it from sliding off. So that's a really nice work, Matt. That's I definitely like that update. And so for the Fangs, you can see it's just these little wheels here that are on the underside of the board. The idea is that when you nosedive, you can either give you time to run it out or the board time to recover. You can see when you put the thing down, it just really slides really well. I really like the way it blends into the underside of the board. I mean, it looks like it came that way from the factory. I mean, it does a really good job of just kind of disappearing there. Really nice work. All right, so to test out this new Ranger today, I'm gonna take this 7.5 amp hour Ego battery. I mean, look at this big guy. It is massive. I mean, it weighs, I think, almost 7 pounds. And I'm gonna see if I can get all the way up to the next town over and back, which should be a little more than 20 miles on this one charge. Now, this should be giving me about 4x the range of my normal One Wheel Plus. So we'll see. I honestly don't know what the range is with this new tire I've got on here. This is the treaded tire. I never tested it out. So it's gonna be a good test of the tire, good test of that. And then also see on that hill if these little Fangs here will save me from the always surprising and inevitable nosedive going up the hill with a very low battery. So let's do it. So this first bit of the ride, I'm gonna be riding with a couple of my friends here on their skateboards. Those are boosted boards they're going on, and of course, you know, they kind of leave me behind a little bit because they're faster than me. You can get a good look there of the Ego, and then you see the front of those little Fangs hanging down there. I just think they look really good on this board. You can barely see them. It just really tucks in nicely. You can see my foot actually fits pretty well too. I mean, I wear a size 10 men's shoe and it really doesn't impede me that much. See a little bit of the wobble? When I first get on this thing with this big 7.5 amp hour battery on the back of it, it's 6 pounds and I do feel a little bit, but as I get a little more comfortable, I'm able to get that wobble to kind of not be so bad. And so that definitely helps some. We're on the Swamp Rabbit Trail here, which is a rails to trail line that runs all the way up to Traveler's Rest. From my house, it's about a 10-mile ride. We're gonna stop, grab a quick bite to eat on the way. And then I'm gonna continue up Traveler's Rest, and my friends are gonna head back south. So that's what this whole ride's gonna be. Thankfully, the weather's not too bad today. It's a little bit overcast here in Greenville, but overall not too bad. will say it was pretty cool to be able to ride up to another town. I mean, the weather was a little bit different on the way up here. You can see it's starting to get kind of overcast and kind of rainy. Thankfully, I had the treaded tire on, which is a lot better in the rain. I really can't recommend that enough. I really love this treaded tire when the weather gets a little bit wet and like wet leaves and stuff like that. It's just great. I didn't know there was a festival going on up here, so it was kind of fun to see that. Get to listen to a little music and hang out, check out the shops. And then it was time to just check the app, see what kind of range I was getting, and then turn around and head back down. It looked like I was around 200% of battery usage. That's one thing, the important thing to note with the way that this Ranger works. The battery level is an indicator is not going to really work anymore, so you're going to have to just use the percent usage at the bottom. So it's always good to, I screenshot that while I'm riding and just take a look at it to make sure I know how much I've got. Since I've got 4x the range here than the normal battery, I've got this 7.5 amp hour battery. It should go all the way to 400% usage. So when I got here, I was at 200%, and so I feel like I'm gonna be pretty close to making it home, but maybe not. So that's gonna be a little tricky. And unfortunately, as I was about 3/4 of the way back, I started getting the Captain Morgan effect, and that's that left leg comes up as you start getting pushed back, and I had to pull over and swap out the battery. Thankfully, I had my smaller 2.5 amp hour Ego battery that I was able to hot swap and just pull the old one off, plop the new one on, plug it in, and then away I went. All right, this is the moment of truth. This is the final hill. I've definitely got a low battery by now, so I'm leaning forward a little bit. I'm not going too fast, as you can see. I'm not really leaning forward that much. Here it goes. Bam, right there. So that's the nosedive. So that would have chucked me off the front, but those wheels just were super smooth. I mean, they were great, and that's not a super smooth road that I was on either, or sidewalk. It's definitely a lot of bumpy stuff. There's cracks, and those little wheels did great. So there's me just trying to push a little bit harder. Now I got a little bit of confidence after I had it nosedive the first time, and just kind of starting to get a feel for it. So you can definitely push the thing down if you want to overload it and do like fang drag, as people call it, but I'm still not to that level yet. You can see that I'm starting to get the Captain Morgan again, go to the top of the hill. So I definitely cooked the battery, and it's dead. So thankfully, I'm within about a block of my house, so it's not too far of a walk, but those fangs did their job, so it's pretty awesome. All right, so they worked. So that is pretty awesome. These little wheels up here did their job, and it nosedove like I thought it would, and I kept sliding, I didn't fall. That was pretty awesome. And I gotta say, I really like the form factor of these guys. I mean, they look like they are meant to be there to me. You can barely see them. They're super low profile. They still dug in. I mean, the board was just super slippery when it hit the ground. So that's a great success.
I get the clock radio you cannot afford. Great success.
I will say I was surprised on the range of this big 7.5 amp hour Ego. I thought I was gonna get 28 miles. I thought I got 7 miles on my stock Onewheel, and then this would give me 4x that. Now, it's very possible that it was this tire here. This is the Hoover treaded tire. I've never done a range test with this tire. So I've got it aired down to like 17 PSI, I think. I need to check that, but it's possible that this thing was giving me significantly more drag than my Ego when I've done those range tests. But even still, I mean, I still was able to go 23 miles, way further than ever gone before. I mean, like I said, I think it's typically 4 to 7 miles is what I've done on my stock battery. This little thing worked like a champ. You gotta depress that, pop this thing off, slide it off. And this is my 2.5 amp hour Ego. That one came with my electric blower, which absolutely love that guy. I mean, I'm all about these Ego tools. I got the 7.5 amp hour Ego, the big one here, with an Ego lawnmower that I picked up on Facebook Marketplace for 250 bucks. So that's hard to beat. This thing was 140 with the blower, and I used them. And then if I can use them on the one wheel, I mean, that's a win-win. If you've got a Onewheel Plus or a V1 one wheel, then highly recommend this Ranger mod. I think it's awesome. I really like it. And especially if you've already got some of these eco batteries, you can just throw it on there. One thing to keep in mind, I do have this thing installed in the parallel option. You can see the wire coming out of here. So I splice it in with my battery. There is another option that he has now that splices into the controller, the Vampire method. I don't know much about it. I'll have to look on the website for that, but it makes it to where you don't have to void the warranty on the battery. So if I was gonna do this again, I probably would use that method. The only thing that I would change at this point is I might swap this tire out just to see if the tire is causing range issues. Maybe I'll air it up and try it again too that way. I don't know, because I am a little curious. I was surprised that I only got 20 miles. Thankfully though, had an extra battery with me, and that's a pretty cool thing, just to be able to hot swap these things and not have to worry about charging. Anyway, great work, Matt and the guys at Landsurf. I think this is an awesome redesign. Love these fangs. And as promised, I also talked to Matt. Let me see, I texted him earlier. So the guys at Landsurf said that these fangs for the Pint are about 5 to 6 weeks out. So I will definitely be excited for that. I know my wife's excited for that too. So if you're thinking about getting any of these wheels, there are some other options. They got, I think Carbon Smith has some right now, but I just love the form factor of these. I love the way they look. They obviously work really well, so I'll be holding out for those. Now, he did say that there is no Ranger currently planned for the Pint, but we'll see. You never know in the future how that goes. I forgot one last thing. So Matt was nice enough to say that if you guys are interested in buying one of these Rangers for yourself, he is gonna throw in free shipping for anybody that uses the code DYER, D-Y-E-R, just my last name, at checkout. So I'll put the link down in the description below for Landsurf. So anyway, if you like this video and you found it helpful, then definitely give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, one last thing. If you guys are interested in my old Ranger here, definitely shoot me a comment down below. I don't mind sending it out to you guys. I mean, I know it doesn't have the locking thing on here, so just, jeez. So just keep that in mind. You know, you might have to throw some pennies under there. I never really had a lot of issues with that. I found that I could just kind of pop it on there, and the only time it would really fall off is when I would actually fall off the board or roll the board in off-road conditions or something like that. But if you want, let me know. Now, I did have it with the parallel, and obviously I can't just take the parallel thing off of here, so I'm not exactly sure how you would use this, but if you have a use for it and you want it, you're welcome to it. I don't mind shipping it out to somebody. So just shoot me a comment down below if you want it, and it's yours. I think that was it. So yeah, hope you all are having a good one. Hope you got some good use out of this. If you're looking at extending your range, highly recommend this Ranger product from the guys at Landsurf, and use the promo code DYER if you want to get free shipping from the Landsurf guys. Talk to y'all later. See ya. Before I get started though, let me show you how this...
Great success.